Okay.
Photos, whatever you want to do, guys. Do some photos. And then, as and when you're ready, we'll get one of you to hand the petition in. Okay. If you want to do some group shots first, please do. The only thing we can't do, we can't do like pieces to camera, so just photos. Sorry. So you can't do any recordings. Just photos.
No, slowly.
Photos first.
Okay.
Photos, whatever you want to do, guys. Do some photos. And then, as and when you're ready, we'll get one of you to hand the petition in. Okay. If you want to do some group shots first, please do. The only thing we can't do, we can't do like pieces to camera, so just photos. Sorry. So you can't do any recordings. Just photos.
No, slowly.
The situation in the country now is terrible.
Before, we bandits are disturbing us, but right now, Boko Haram has taken over almost 3 local governments in Niger State.
We have never had this so bad.
It's like intentionally they don't want to tackle the matter.
The government officials who are bargaining with them know them. They are working together. That's the way I look at it.
If they were serious, if the federal government are serious about the tackling of this matter, the insecurity, they cannot move with Fantami. He's a supporter of the terrorists. And then some people are just saying the Boko Haram are illiterate, Boko Haram they don't know what they are doing. All this is deception. The Boko Haram, where the Boko Haram stand, the federal government knew it. I always said it, and I will continue to say it. They always used to meet with them where they are staying, where they are feeding them, how they are taking care. They are always together with them, and they are deceiving people that they don't know where they are. It's not only Fantami. We have one medical doctor consultant in 2009 for second attack of Boko Haram, 2009. The first attack of Boko Haram is 2006. In the second attack, he carried firearms, fought with the military. When the military went to arrest him, the hospital authority, under the Professor Otman Kari, they put him to ambulance to keep the Kano from Kano to Egypt. After 8 months, came back. He's working in the teaching hospital. He's a Boko Haram member. So they have a very terrible plan against Nigeria, particularly this government. And the Mr. President is aware, and he knew it. And they did it because they want him to take over. President Buhari can never fight insecurity, because insecurity had brought him into this power, and he can never fight it.
Koikimedia, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia, 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 we bringing the world closer to your doorstep. I was a lara gbayida, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè, ìgbéde lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gan ni bàbá. Koikimedia, Koikimedia, Koikimedia. We bringing the world closer to your doorstep. They never sabi wetin we carry for her, but they move closer before they go sabi. I said they never know wetin we carry for body, but they move closer before they go sabi. Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, ìníhùn ló ló lajú. Ẹyẹ tó dorí kodò bí àdó ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa, ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè tó dúdú àga. Òdúdú àkóbá lè gbé wá. Ọmọ òdúdú àṣegírí. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí, ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Pé ọmọ òdúdú wà ní wá. Koikimedia, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá mọ̀ ní. Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé bùgbà yín jẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá mọ̀ ní. À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá mọ̀ ní. News and sports ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tí wàá mọ̀ ní. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Koikimedia ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o, máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi, ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé, ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ kájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀, àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé, ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Koikimedia ṣàwa ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ, jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ọmọ Òdùwà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. We bring you up closer to your doorstep. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kan kí oko lára ni. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Òdúdú alágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sódìkẹta. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Àdúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè. Koikimedia àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia we bring you walk closer to your doorstep. Àwọn ní bàbá. Koikimedia is around. To give us latest. Is around o. To give us latest. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó kojú gbogbo. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó kojú gbogbo. Koikimedia is around.
Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá, ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́, nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bú joyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bó mo pera mi padà ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ má bolóṣèlú kankan ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá àjàmọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣẹ wọn àwọn ará pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àgbà tó bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ á gbé wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ àṣejẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ àdàlúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yẹn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ṣe tálákà tó tẹ́ pé mo dìde fún jà Yorùbá big man ni mí àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ lè mi mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba àgbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ da mi dúró ń títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ wọn ò lè lódò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wá lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
Nigeria is a star. Yoruba nation. No going back. 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 What do we want? Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation. No going back. Yoruba nation. No going back. Nigeria is a star. Yoruba nation. No going back. 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 What do we want? Yoruba nation. Yoruba nation. No going back. Yoruba nation. No going back. Nigeria is a star. Yoruba nation. No going back. Yoruba nation. No going back. Yoruba nation. No going back.
What I'm requiring is the removal of section, the removal of personal in section 24 of the Constitution, section 262, section 277, and section 288, so that other relevant laws, like the public, the commercial law, Islamic commercial law, the Islamic company law, the Islamic international law, can have a place in the Constitution.
Okay, so that's a background because I remember that bill that was moved on the floor of the House of Representatives about the expansion of certain provisions of Islamic laws. And then there was a lot of uproar in different parts of the country as well, many not understanding what is going on here. And then, who knows, Mr. Colonialism, then his narratives, what he has spoken about some time ago, many trying to see if they could connect the dots. But let's listen to this one before we come back to him.
If a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the Commander-in-Chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them and they're still there. The chief of naval staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics, the sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized. It's not about ransom. I just want to confirm to Makwe that she is right. It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens. And they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia and there is whatever thing they have in their head and they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians.
So if I could follow up on that.
And a very good evening and welcome to my live transmission on the Koiki Media Network, the 2nd of November 2024. If you can hear me loud and clear, please indicate on the broadcast. We are streaming on the YouTube, Facebook, and we are also live on the BlixLR. We are live on the Twitter space. We are live on Twitter. Unfortunately, our Instagram has been taken down, so we are not on the Instagram, but we are live on the other platform. Please share the program and invite others to do so. My name is Alayomi Koiki, and one out of the many, probably not the 60 million Yoruba people in Nigeria, but approximately about 20, 30 million that are now asking questions regarding this entity, this country that was put together by the British in 1914 amalgamation. So welcome to my program. I would try to say tonight's program will be mostly about 85% in English, because of the kind of the message I want to deliver. Please take time to read the topic of the discussion. I will not be calling your names and be welcoming you. Just sit back and enjoy it, because I haven't got the time tonight to do so. A lot is happening globally, and a lot is also happening within Nigeria. But let me first again tell us the reason why we are sitting here on this particular channel, which is called the Koiki Media. It is got to do with the Yoruba right to self-determination. We are not terrorists. We are not rebellion people. We are not people that wants to use this platform to inconvenience others. but we are a people that will fight with our blood and everything within us to deliver ourselves according to the Article 3 of the United Nations Charter that says that indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they are freely determine their political status, freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. That is the reason, and the only reason why we are doing what we are doing. But because the world is moving at a very fast pace, I believe within the next 72 hours, there will be a lot of activities in America where we are expecting the Americans to go to the poll and decide who become the next president of the United States of America. One out of many powerful countries in the world. They have the money, they have the nuclear power, they're well networked and connected regardless of wherever you are. America is a big country that will make or not. The election is very crucial. If you have been following who becomes the next president, whether it could be the Democrat or it could be the Republican, we don't know yet. There's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of analysis, but we hope that whatever, and that is where I want us, especially those of us that are asking for the right to self-determination, whatever will favor us, be it Democrat, be it Republican, should be what we should pray for. Because America continues to have a huge influence in the world today, whether you agree with their policies or you disagree, whether you love America or you don't like them, whether their policy is biased or not, America has a big stake. So that means that if the next president of America comes through, we should also hope that they would have a bit of sympathy or a bit of understanding why the Yorubas that are asking for their right will be allowed to exercise that right under the rules of engagement that is called self-determination. So that is all I can say. And I'll leave that to American citizens to go out and vote. Literally about coming to the third week, if I'm right, we went down to number 10 Downing Street at exactly 1400 hours on the 12th of October 2024 under the leadership of Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho was handed a very high important document to be delivered on behalf, again, probably not all the Yorubas that want to exit Nigeria, but at least the percentage of those that would love to. So what that means is that Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho went to Downing Street with this document that was delivered to the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. Just 24 hours after that letter was delivered, the federal government of Nigeria felt uncomfortable, and a lot of press statements were released from Abuja by the Minister of Foreign Affairs under the present administration. Just after that, the British High Commissioner representing Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montigori, was invited to find out if he's aware of what the content of that letter is all about. As much as he would not, because the letter remained confidential between the leader of the movement, Professor ADEBANJI Akintoye, and also the British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer. We know that the Nigerian intimidation gave the British High Commissioner to release a statement. But I can also now confirm that in as much as we have not and we will not be intimidated by the present administration, there's also been a power change in the UK. And what do I mean by that? We now also have a new leader that is going to be representing the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom. And that is none than Kemi Badenoch. Tonight, based on my topic and based on finding who Kemi Badenoch is, I have asked the question, first, the Arewa to your left-hand side, and now also asking that we don't want one Nigeria. But before we come back to that, let us first find out who exactly is this 44 years old, born on the 2nd of January 1980. There's a lot that we will learn from tonight. From a lot means that a lot of you probably know her as Kemi. And if we go back and give her the full name, it is known as Olukemi Olufunto Adegoke Badenoch. She's a British politician who, as at today, the 2nd of November 2024, has become the leader of opposition and also the leader of the Conservative Party. She was born on the 2nd of January 1980, right here in Wimbledon in London. But we know that based on the name alone, which is one of the identity crises that we, the Yorubas, are facing today. Based on that name, in as much as she was born in the United Kingdom, but a name that she cannot manipulate, a name that she cannot change, a name has already given her out, probably to the community and the indigenous people that understand that name. Because the only people that bear that name are Yorubas. But she's not representing a Yoruba as a government, but rather she's representing a political party right here in the United Kingdom that is called the Conservative Party. Let's talk about the Conservative Party and find out a little bit about this political party. The Conservative, or the Unionist Party, commonly the Conservative Party, known as the Tories, is one of the two main political parties in the United Kingdom, along with the Labour Party. Currently now, they lost the power on the 4th of July this year, after the election was called by the previous Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. And that means that after over a decade of the Conservative Party in government, they finally lost, because the British people that exercised their right decided to vote at exactly who or how they feel comfortable to. These will not and will never happen should the Yoruba people remain in Nigeria, where first, you will not have the opportunity as a female, as a woman, to lead any political party should we remain Nigerians. But what you will be able to enjoy when the time comes, we pray not too long, when we would have a country that will respect and gives all the women the right equally as men. Just like I can call her a sister, because looking at Olu, Kemi, I love to put that Olu, because Olu also has a big meaning in Yoruba land. Looking at these, my sister tonight, representing this political party known as Conservative Party, shows that she has worked extremely hard, but she has also been given an opportunity that she would never have been given if she was in Nigeria. And what that means is that this is exactly what those of us that are campaigners of the right to self-determination have been talking about. When we look at a Yoruba woman, let me put it that way, in as much as she was born here, a lot of them have returned back to Nigeria to try similarly. And I can give an example. I think Kemi Adeosun was similar to, and I hope I'm right with that particular name so that we are not mixing things up tonight. Let me make sure that I'm thinking that is the same thing. Kemi Adeosun, that was part of the Buhari's government. I hope I am right. She was the former Minister of Finance. Yes. So that means we have two beautiful women. One was Kemi Adeosun, while the other is Kemi Badenoch. I want you to follow me tonight so that many of the Yorubas that are still against the right of us to have our own independent and form our own country, then form our own political status according to what the self-determination itself means. It means that we will be given the opportunity to form our own political parties. We will disagree, but we will remain in a country of our own choice called Yoruba Republic, Yoruba Kingdom, or Yoruba Nation. So what we are seeing tonight is an history that it does not matter. As a Yoruba woman, you can be successful regardless of where you are, but not in Nigeria. If you remain as a one Nigeria, you will be kicked out like Kemi Adeosun was kicked out. Kemi Adeosun, we might not agree with everything because of her stance with Buhari, the criminal Fulani terrorists that brought in jihadis into our territory. But what she wanted to do was not possible as the new finance minister, and I'm talking about in 2015. What Kemi, I'm going to come back to Kemi Badenoch. What Kemi Adeosun wanted to do was to stamp out the corruption, to stamp out the cabals within the network known as Nigeria. But the cabals already set her up in advance because they knew that, again, she was trained in the United Kingdom, she studied abroad, but trying to go back and rectify some of the problems that many Nigerians are complaining today was never going to happen because somebody like Kemi Adeosun is not needed in Nigeria to try to be the lawyer or try to serve a country with dignity and integrity. So what they did in advance was prepare a kind of an elephant. You remember that song that I explained to you, Go, 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 Ngwo? Many Nigerians were singing that song without understanding the full meaning of what they were singing. Because that Go, 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 Ngwo was a tortoise that pretended to love the elephant and told the elephant after the tortoise were told and other animals by the king that whoever can bring the elephant to the palace would also be given a good gift. All the other animals thought there is no way we can get the elephant to the palace. Many of us know what the elephant looks like. The elephant is a very strong animal in the animal kingdom. And if you're going to bring elephant, you would have to think deeply how you're going to do such. So Gwogwogwo Ingo is what was done for Kemi Adeosun, and I'm going to come back to her and tell you why I'm saying that. But let's go back to the music Gwogwogwo Ingo that went viral in Nigeria. The tortoise told the elephant big lies that the king is expecting him and is ready to give away one of the beautiful daughters. The elephant thought it was an opportunity to marry the king's daughter. As they were getting closer out of the location where the tortoise went to call the elephant said to the tortoise, "You are moving at a very slow pace." And the tortoise says, "Well, the only other option is for you to let me go on your back." And since the elephant thought he was going for a big occasion, accepted that the tortoise should climb on his back. Do you know what happened then was, as they were approaching the palace, the tortoise cried out to the king that this is the elephant that you said I cannot bring to you. Right there, the elephant sensed a bit of uncomfortable. But because of the lies that many Nigerians are still thinking, that when people like us come out and say Nigeria is not working, because they're being told lies on a daily basis, they will not listen until they fall into the trap of the criminal politicians that have set all kind of manners of traps for them. Eventually, the elephant got closer to where it was going to be welcome. But the elephant did not realize that underneath the beautiful mat that has been set for him, there was a hole right underneath. And as the elephant wanted to sit down, we all know what could have happened. The elephant went straight into the pit. Now, let's come back to the trap that was set well in advance for Kemi Adeosun, because the reason why she eventually tendered yes, I can hear you. Eh? Sorry? I didn't catch what you said. Eh? Sorry about that. Bit of interruption there from my children. Eventually, a trap was set for Kemi Adeosun, and that was her accepting that she did her NYSC even though she did not. But that trap was used against her later on, just to clear that. So, but she must have had a good intention. If Kemi Adeosun played along a political party in the UK, be it the Conservative or the Labour Party, tonight we might also be celebrating Kemi Adeosun as a leader in the UK. But as normal, many of us also want to go back home and do our best to serve the community in our little capacity, voluntarily. Some of us want to get paid for it. But what we don't understand is that you will never, never gain exactly the kind of prestige that this woman is gaining tonight, because she has proven as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, that you can be whoever you want to be. If Kemi Badenoch was in Nigeria, your guess is as good as mine. She will not even get close to become a local government chairman because of her gender, because of her background, until she's ready to go into all manners of what politicians expect from a woman before she can become close to any position. But she doesn't need that in the UK. I am not here to defend her because I don't know much about her. But what I'm just trying to analyze tonight is that Kemi Badenoch was able to achieve these because she lives in Europe. She will never, never, never get close to this position in Nigeria. And that means that Nigeria is not meant for her as a Yoruba woman. But Kemi Badenoch, the new leader elected of the Conservative Party, is able to do what many Yoruba women would never have been able to do or achieve if for those in Nigeria. So let's give you again a bit of a background. Like I said earlier, once again, please share the program. Before we go further, she has been in the picture or in the news, but many of us might not know her because we are not living in the UK to understand the UK politics. But for those of us that live in the UK, we've seen her, we've heard about her, because this is not the first time she's contesting for the same position. She lost out to Liz Truss the shortest prime minister we've ever had in the United Kingdom. So let's go a little bit further. The Northwest SS MP, which is known as Member of Parliament, has won the popular vote without rigging, without using a body to pay the price, without bribing. This particular woman, Kemi Badenoch, has done so based on hard work, integrity, and also the love she has for the British as a British citizen, even though her background is also Yoruba/Nigeria. Why am I trying to bring this into the discussion tonight is that many Yoruba people still don't get it that you can be more than Kemi Badenoch, but Nigeria will not give you the opportunity to do so. And the question is, for how long do you think that we should remain in a one Nigeria that has failed to work? Kemi Badenoch beat a male counterpart, hands down. These are the two contestants. Just think about this in Nigeria, that we have a female contestant and a male. Who do you think that will be given the opportunity to represent the party? This tells us something, that the Yorubas must now understand that the reason why we continue to have that kind of political system in Nigeria, in the southwest part of the country, is because the women have been sidelined as a second, third class citizens, and even though some of them have used their bodies to sacrifice, but they get nothing. The least they will get is a deputy governor. We've seen deputy governor as a female, but in the Yoruba Southwest since 1999, we've not seen a Yoruba woman become a governor. That again tells us something, that Nigeria is not prepared for the Yoruba women to lead. But when we have our own independent Yoruba country that is not too far away, we would be giving all our women, female, the same equal right as male. And what do I mean by that? We would not discriminate as Nigeria has done so for the last 64 years, that continue to discriminate the women in the southwest part of the country. What do I mean by that? Let's look into a bit of the background, again more to the Honorable Kemi Badenoch, the current leader of the Conservative Party. I'm sure we have a lot of our women tonight in southwest part of Nigeria, and right as I speak to you at about 11:45, because of the difference of the time in Nigeria, it's about 10 minutes to 11 p.m. in the UK. They are trying to be part of a political system that does not respect them, does not value them, even in as much as some of them have used their bodies to push. This is again the reason why we are asking for Yoruba Nation. So let me analyze this just under a few minutes in Yoruba language. Táǹfààní èèyàn wa tá à ń sọ fún pé a fẹ́ dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè. Lára ìdí kan pàtàkì tí a fi ń polongo pé a fẹ́ dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, òun ni pé tí a bá wo in tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní èní ọjọ́ kejì nínú oṣù kọkànlá ọdún 2024 níbi tí a pè ní United Kingdom. A rí pé wọ́n ti yan olórí tuntun tó jẹ́ opposition fún ẹgbẹ́ kan tí wọ́n ń pè ní Conservative Party. Arábìnrin náà, bàbá dárúkọ ẹ̀, orúkọ yẹn jọ ọmọ Yorùbá, kò ń ṣe pé ó jọ ọmọ Yorùbá ni, àmọ́ tó bí sílùú UK ní Wimbledon ní 1982. Ọmọ 44 years ni. 2nd of January 1980 ni wọ́n bí Olúwakẹ́mi Olúfúntọ́ Adégòkè Badenoch tó jẹ́ olóṣèlú ìyẹn nílùú United Kingdom, tí wọ́n wá fi jẹ ẹni tó máa darí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ náà látèní lọ. Bí a bá wò lọ wò bọ̀, a rí pé tó bá jẹ́ pé arábìnrin yìí ìlú Nàìjíríà ni ó wà, ipò tó jẹ lénìí, kódà bó bá fi ara di, wọn ò ní jẹ́ kó débẹ̀. Nítorí pé kí ni, Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe ìlú tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ obìnrin láti lè jẹ́ kó dàgbàsókè, kí ìdàgbàsókè wà. Lára àwọn ìdí pàtàkì, ìdí kókó tí a ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè kan nìyẹn. Nítorí pé tá bá dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, à ń láǹfààní láti lè fún gbogbo àwọn obìnrin ní ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ní bó ṣe ń fún wọn lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ níbi tí a pè ní Europe. Bó tí a bá wo ẹ̀tọ́ tó ń bẹ nínú Nàìjíríà lénìí, a rí pé wọn ò ní láǹfààní irú ẹ̀tọ́ náà. So let's move swiftly back again to the conversation. So what I'm trying to explain to us is that the reason she's been given this privilege is nothing more than the fact that she worked hard for it. We might not agree with anything that she has said, because the next video I'm going to play is a very crucial part of the question that she was put on the spot. And what she was put on the spot is what we are going to listen to in just about a few minutes. Once again, my name is Oluwole Koiki. Please share the program and invite others to do so. Let's now listen to one video that I captured for us to watch. She was put on the spot, and this got to do with our history, that Britain played a very crucial role with.
This is the past. We need to talk about the future. There are many countries now who want to use guilt to try and exploit the UK. They ask for reparations. I saw it as a trade minister. It's not culture wars. I was at the WTO. I won't name the minister from another country. And he was telling me that we needed to give up some of the things that we were doing because of colonialism and because they needed time to develop. These arguments are a scam. Don't fall for it. We need to make sure that we put this country first. We work well with our neighbors. We work well with other countries, but we have to look after ourselves too.
Well, I mean, those advocating for reparations would say, shouldn't we just make up for some of the damage we did through the slavery? As a black woman saying that, they may find that hard to understand from you.
Well, there are many things that the British Empire got wrong. But there are many amazing things that the British Empire also did. And we need to be honest about that and stop pretending that it was all bad. The British Empire ended slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. We need to talk about that more.
And a welcome back to the discussion tonight. I don't know what you pick from that clip. But there's a lot that we can analyze from that clip. First, she's a Yoruba woman, but she's representing Britain first. So let us first put our mind that Kemi Badenoch is going to continue even before she was the leader, is when that video was produced. Being the leader right now, and some of what you have just listened to, even after I have given you a clear picture of the difference between Kemi Badenoch, the UK, and versus Kemi Badenoch if she was in Nigeria. Now, let's go back to some of what you might be asking tonight. As a Yoruba woman, would she be of benefit, quote and unquote, as an opposition for the Yoruba nation campaign struggle? Many of our people have contacted me. Many of our people are asking questions. How would she be of benefit for us in this struggle? And my take is, for me to answer that question, we first need to know where she stands when it comes to very tough questions like what she was asked. I'm going to play that video back again, and I want us to listen carefully to all the details. And we're going to come back and we pick one or two and then use that to ask if what she said is because she's a British citizen and her only interest is Britain. In as much as she's bearing that name, Kemi, does not mean that she would represent you as a Yoruba campaigners that want Yoruba nation. But that does not mean that we cannot engage her, because the Yorubas are diplomatic people, and that is the reason why we went to number 10 Downing Street to meet the current leader. Kemi Badenoch would have been in power if Conservative won the election. Rishi Sunak would have been told to go, and she must have come, and she would have been the prime minister. She would have to wait 4 years before the next general election is called, because the election will not be called anytime soon. We can decide that, not me, the Labour Party can decide if they're not happy with the current prime minister, and all they will do is they will just, within the party, ask people to come up and decide if they want to be the leader, and they will change and change and change. And that's exactly what played out for over 10 years of the Conservative before the election was called in July the 4th. We saw so many Conservative leaders that we did not vote for, and that itself made a lot of us uncomfortable, that we did not vote for you, yet you continue to dip your hands into the coffer and pull money out and wasted the money all over the place. So, if anybody tonight, as much as the name, the face, sounds Yoruba, let us also have it at the back of our mind that our interest is not for Yoruba as we speak. Our interest, or maybe I shouldn't be saying that. Let's listen to this again, and then we come back and start looking into these particular. There's many videos that she has done, but I purposely brought this particular one because when we are complaining that Britain created what is known as Nigeria today, and after I play these, you would have to sit back. We will go back to the video of Mr. Former Navy Commodore Kunle Olawumi. It's a 20-minute video. And I want us to watch the whole clip. And we will then start taking one or two as we are still waiting to see the engagement back from the Labour Party of our precious document that was dropped to them. We would also be looking into Kemi Badenoch and questioning, asking whether she's for, as a Yoruba woman, for us or against us. I will leave that for you to put in the comment section as learned people. Once again, this is Koiki Media, and it's coming up to exactly 2300 hours, which is exactly the same as 11 p.m. And what are we calling it? You interrupted the program. So let's listen one more time again. Good evening to you all. Like I said, I will leave the names calling for now, but I can see your comment. I will pick on that later.
This is the past. We need to talk about the future. There are many countries now who want to use guilt to try and exploit the UK. They ask for reparations. I saw it as a trade minister. It's not culture wars. I was at the WTO. I won't name the minister from another country. And he was telling me that we needed to give up some of the things that we were doing because of colonialism and because they needed time to develop. These arguments are a scam. Don't fall for it. We need to make sure that we put this country first. We work well with our neighbors. We work well with other countries, but we have to look after ourselves too.
Well, I mean, those advocating for reparations would say, shouldn't we just make up for some of the damage we did through slavery? As a black woman saying that, they may find that hard to understand from you.
Well, there are many things that the British Empire got wrong. But there are many amazing things that the British Empire also did. And we need to be honest about that and stop pretending that it was all bad. The British Empire ended slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. We need to talk about that more.
Now, it's getting more interesting. You can see that each time that this particular indigenous people for a very long time rise up and our energy as charged, then they will bring the Tinubus, and it has actually calmed some people down. Now, we are seeing another Kemi Badenoch. Even though she's not in Nigeria, she's in the UK, the Yoruba are asking for right to self-determination, and we have brought in Kemi Badenoch to probably make us feel cool. Let me give you my own opinion. First and foremost, I am not a member of a political party. I actually voted against a party to start with. I voted against this conservative party, and I'm talking about me as a person with my right to vote in this country, because I do not trust this political party. That is one of the reasons I voted against that party. Not that the Labour Party is a cool party, but the fact now that they've even brought in Kemi Badenoch, do I trust her? The answer is capital no. She's another distraction for the people like me that have suffered the injustice of the British colonial rule on our soil, on our territory, that this country that she is now defending in this clip, that destroy millions of lives, this country called the United Kingdom, Great Britain, that dipped their hands into what we are now facing as a threat to the lives of 60 million Yoruba people tonight. This country that she's defending under the slave trade, that there's so many things that we should be grateful that the British ended the slave trade. So she's expecting me now to be an excited young man, a Yoruba man, that thank you so much, Britain, for stopping the slave trade that you started, that you made so much wealth, and yet you refuse to apologize. King Charles has not apologized. King Charles' mother, before she died, refused to apologize. The same UK monarchy system that created the monster that many lives have gone into the ocean as they were moving them out from the point of no return called Great Britain. And many of Yoruba people, I know, will be maybe a little bit uncomfortable with this, my own take, but I do not see Kemi Badenoch as another angel that will come and save us, that are waiting to exit the expired country that our country put on us. And if we are going to be factual and straightforward, Kemi Badenoch is just being used temporarily, because I know if the election is called today, she will be taken out of that position and another English person will represent her. That is what I will say to you, because that is exactly what was done even when Gordon Brown, a Scottish man, was not given the opportunity to rule this country. That tells you that the English knows the game more than the Yorubas. But what they are doing is to keep us alive while they are thinking of the next move, because they now realize that Igbo's letter that was delivered means that this warrior left the offshore of Yoruba land. I don't think some of you understand, the spiritual part of it as well. For Igbo to have traveled all the way down from the Yoruba land in Africa to come down to UK means a lot. I will leave that part for us for another day, because that itself is a spiritual. And they know now that this man is not the one in the forefront. There is other things that we cannot see. I am talking from the spiritual aspect of things now. And they realize that the Yorubas are ready to move out of the UK if all goes well with us very soon on our own territory. There will be no need for you to be here. There's no need for me to be here when there's a better opportunity and to support and work towards a Yoruba government. For many Yoruba people tonight, thank you so much, my beautiful big mother that was there at the dinner and also fully charged on the rally. I call her Comfort Ologunja. We should bear in mind that Kemi Badenoch will always work for the interest of the British. She will always work for the interest of the British. Let me read that properly because there's a bit of line missing there. She will always work for the interest of the British, not the interest of the Yorubas. And thank you so much for putting that. And I think some of you have been putting comment out and you're probably feeling uncomfortable that I'm not reading that. But the reason why I'm not reading yet is because I want to quickly deliver my own take, but I will make sure that yours is also embedded in this discussion. So I want us not to feel too much happy yet that a Yoruba woman is leading the Conservative Party. Rather, we can engage her, like I said, diplomatically, but we should not believe that she has any interest in any Yoruba nation becoming an independent country where the country that she is going to represent still have interest in Nigeria. You can see where the conflict of interest lies. My take is she's a leader. What she has done is very good. She has fought for it, but she will not get this if that was in Nigeria. But in the other way around, hoping and thinking that Kemi Badenoch will give us a bit of access to get Yoruba nation throw that away because that is not going to happen. Even though many people are still questioning the letter that we took to number 10 to the leader of the Labour Party. You can now imagine every day now people will see a Yoruba woman. But she's not a Yoruba woman representing Yoruba. She's representing Britain, where she was born. But just again, as somebody asked, who actually is Kemi Badenoch's father? So let me quickly say good evening to many of you as we are just 1 hour into this discussion. Before I start reading your comments so that we don't dive too much away from the discussion, let us listen to this video. This video will charge you up, and we will come back to Kemi Badenoch before we then move to the Arewa that are now also saying, Tinubu, I think it's time to break up Nigeria. My name is Koiki. If you're new to this platform, all you can do is share the program and invite others to do so. I'm going to mute my mic and we're going to listen to this. Like I said, the next video is about 20 minutes and I'll allow all the videos to play through because there's something I really want to gain from that particular video that I want us to both watch together. Once again, welcome to Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
What I'm requiring is the removal of section, the removal of personal in section 24 of the Constitution, section 262, section 277, and section 288, so that other relevant laws, like the public, the commercial law, Islamic commercial law, the Islamic company law, the Islamic international law, can have a place in the Constitution.
Okay, so that's a background because I remember that bill that was moved on the floor of the House of Representatives about the expansion of certain provisions of Islamic laws. And then there was a lot of uproar in different parts of the country as well, many not understanding what is going on here. And then, who knows, Mr. Colonialism, then his narratives, what he has spoken about some time ago, many trying to see if they could connect the dots. But let's listen to this one before we come back to him.
If a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the Commander-in-Chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them and they're still there. The chief of naval staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics. The sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized. It's not about ransom. I just want to confirm to Makwe that she is right. It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens. And they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia and there is whatever thing they have in their head and they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. So if I could follow up on that.
Well, he's here with us now. That was several years ago. Colonel Laumbi, former Navy commander, professor of global security studies, also Nigerian Defense Academy. Good morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much. After 3 years, we are seen again.
I know, several things must have been going through your mind when you saw all of those bills, the propositions, the narrative, the comments making the rounds only recently, even though 3 years after you made that comment. So tell us, what was going through your mind when you saw all of these things as though they were playing out what you had spoken of earlier?
It just basically confirmed my fears, you know. When I was saying those things, a lot of colleagues didn't like what I was saying. Some people felt that I'm anti-Islam. My dear, I'm from a Muslim background because my grandmother, you know, married a Muslim man after the husband died, and all my cousins, all my sisters, grandchildren, they are Muslim. I'm from a Muslim background. And I don't know, General Adambaza will attest to it that when I took him with the Minister of Defense, you know, to Italy, you know, they were my guests in Italy. And I took them to the largest mosque in Milan, and we prayed together in the mosque. And personally, I think I will tell you, I took him to Alaska Mosque in Israel to pray. And I have nothing against Israel. But you see, we are talking about identity and governance in this country. Identity and governance.
I want us to take note of what these our father, uncle, brother, former Commodore Olakunle Olaomi is about to share with us. And the reason why I interjected, because we're using the video as analyst, but it's not mine. It's a copyright to channels. He wants to talk about identity. The same identity that the British colony destroyed with the Yoruba people. Because our true identity that we know was removed in 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. And if anybody again thinks that Kemi, Olukemi Badenoch, somebody says she was born in Nigeria, she was actually born in the UK according to the information I have. She was born in Wimbledon in 1982. This discussion of identity is the most important reason why we want Yoruba nation. It is the only valid reason why our independent country will give us Yoruba country. I mean, will give us the right to remain Yorubas. If we remain Nigerians, the true identity of we, the indigenous people, not just the Yorubas, the Igbos, the Hausas, and the rest, will not pop up. So the only fight for any one of us is to defend our identity. But it seems that we are already in a big trap by what Kemi, Badenoch, and other political parties in the UK, under the support of their engagement with Nigeria, and I'm talking about the monarchy because these political parties are there as another, let me put it as a puppet. King Charles controls the system, but King Charles needs somebody to monitor and take charge. That is why when you become the prime minister, you will travel to Buckingham Palace, about 5 minutes drive to get the nod that you will manage the government on his behalf of the Majesty. So in a nutshell, if she was the Prime Minister, or as Kistama is the Prime Minister, it means that they are working on behalf of His Majesty, King Charles. But the same monarchy system, the same colonialist, took away our identity and trapped us into what Kunle Olawumi is about to explain to us. Because the danger might be slowed down because Tinubu is the president. But in as much as Tinubu is the president, we are still seeing the push from the agenda list of those that wants to Islamize Nigeria. Many Yoruba people don't even believe that they're going to Islamize Nigeria, even if you talk from now till thy kingdom come. But let's go back to that video, and if I have any reason to interject again, I will come back in. Let's go back to the video.
So discouraging to know that at this century, we are still at this level of religious understanding. We are still at this level where I would say most of the things that we call religion, either Christianity, Islam, are basically some historical books that were plagiarized by most of the religions. I don't want to be specific now. These are ancient historical books that were plagiarized, and people decide to use them to either enslave you or take over your land and so on. And I'm really discouraged because at this level, Nigerians are so uneducated when it comes to religion. That the Arabs, the British, the Romans, they use religion actually to capture your state.
All right, let's come back again. You can see that it's getting more interesting. I'm not sitting here to condemn whatever your faith are, but I'm here to condemn you as someone that has faith, but accepted that faith, but refused to believe that your identity, as our mother says here, Comfort Ologunja, our identity that has been hidden in Nigeria must come out now before it disappeared forever. And this is the reason why we, the campaigners, are saying that we are not arguing with your religion, but we know that the religion plays a part of why our identity was embedded and stolen. Because if we go back to what Kemi Badenoch was defending about slave trade, I hope she remember that Church of England was built on the stolen wealth of the slave trade. Even the country that she's also the opposition leader, called the UK, was another crime scene that was using the profit of slave trade from information that we had to even build the Buckingham Palace. So don't expect too much as a Yoruba man, as a Yoruba woman, from Kemi Badenoch being the leader. And like I said, if election is called today, she will be removed and an English person will represent that party. So she's only there now because they need her as a face for many reasons. One of those reasons is also to keep you, a Yoruba man, a Yoruba woman, so excited that we have now another Yoruba woman as a political party leader in the UK. I don't need that. All I need is I need a Yoruba woman in a Yoruba territory, in a Yoruba kingdom, in Oduduwa land, in Oduduwa Republic, leading us, not what I am saying as Kemi Badenoch, a Yoruba woman, leading, but our interest is not for us. I hope you understand what I'm saying there. Intimo inshallah, if I'm ni pé ó pè mí pé ká gba country tiwa, kí máa rí obìnrin tó ń darí wa, tínú mi máa dùn. I don't think I should be happy Not that I'm not happy with what she has become, because she has worked hard for it, but because I am upset that the country that she's representing put my life, your life, and the lives of millions of 60 million Yoruba people in danger. That is what you're about to listen to from this discussion from this Yoruba man. As much as we can listen, we still have 15 minutes. Let's play more from that video.
To enslave you. We look at most of the religions, I don't want to be specific, they all practice slavery and also. So for us to be at this point where we're supposed to be talking about the hunger that is pervasive in Nigeria today, the inflation rate, the poverty, we are basically sitting in the hollow chamber, and what we can discuss is that they want to remove personal from something, and that's what they are going there to do. When people are dying, people are committing suicide, families are collapsing, and they will sit down there and start talking about removing personal so that they can basically Islamize the country finally, because once you remove that personal, technically now Nigeria is Islamized.
All right,
Technically, Nigeria is already Islamized. But many Nigerians will tell you, how are we Islamized? We still live in the country, everything is going accordingly. But what they don't understand is that Tinubu tenure will come to an end. He's going to explain that. But the Islamization agenda will be fulfilled if we do not push to exit Nigeria.
I want to be able to get the understanding of that, because the sections that were the places that they were looking for amendments to, sections 24, 262, 277, and 288. And what I'm seeing here, Ali Musao, at the time when he suggested these changes in the 1999 Constitution, removing the word personal whenever it is mentioned from the section, allowing Islamic law to stand on its own. Explain to me the correlation between that and Islamizing the country, just so we can understand where you're coming from on this debate.
Yeah, where I'm coming from is very simple. We may think it's semantic, but it is not. Personal just talk about issue of marriage, things that are personal, maybe inheritance, maybe divorce, But if you look at the antecedents, Sanfara started this by introducing something that is taking care of criminal laws. Okay? So now they want to extend it. Instead of them to actually discuss the 1999 Constitution, it is a fraud already.
I like when we hear from people say the 1999 Constitution is a fraud. But many Yorubas and millions of Nigerians are expecting miracle from the current administration of President Bola Tinubu to perform miracles and make Nigeria to governable, workable, unite us. Even October 1st, the wife said we should have the same attire so that we are more Nigerians. Tinubu has even changed, the national anthem to sweet Kemi, Badenoch, and Kistama, and the monarch, and the, you know how all this goes. And like Kayode says, our identity was systematically stolen away from us. But this generation will battle it out with whoever stands our way. And I love that part because it reminds me of these particular, see if I can find that video quickly, when this actor said exactly what you said. Do not stand on the ways of people that are determined, because they will crush you. But many might say, you can't do nothing. because all your rhetorics remains on the social media. But what they forgot to understand is that the same rhetorics will eventually come down, and the push will liberate millions of people with less confrontation. We need to educate more people. We need to continue to demand that our right to self-determination is the only solution. We need to tell many Nigerians, while you will not succeed, it's not because you don't want to, it's because the systematic, and it's been a while, in as much as this young man, shall I say young man, fight day and night on the social media known as the X, but he's not getting a lot of traffic because we all refuse not to go to the X to encourage and support him. And I mean, a brother that traveled all the way from America just to visit me and say, thank you so much, Mr. Koiki, for the great work, for putting your life at risk, and for also, he had a video call with Sunday Gbowo, and I'm talking about African Confidential. This was some months back. He flew from America just to say thank you. That's the reason why he came to UK. I was shocked myself because when I met him, I thought maybe he had another plan. Maybe he said no, and he was only here for a few days. He said he wanted to appreciate me personally. So he flew from America to the United Kingdom. I mean, this for me was astonishing. I couldn't believe it. And he also gave me money. I won't tell you how much it is, but he also said it's too small for me to give you anything because money is not the reason why you're doing what you're doing. You put your life and the life of your family. I have family, but he's doing very well on the social media known as the X, but he's not getting a lot of support with tweeting and helping him out. So when we see him on the channel sometime like this, we appreciate him and others like that. So I'm going to go back again, but tonight, I do appreciate that Kemi has fought hard to become the leader, but I do not see any hope from her in saving the Yoruba people that are demanding the right to self-determination, because our agenda is a complete different agenda from we, the Yoruba people. She will continue to defend and protect the identity of her Britishness, but she will not defend and protect her true identity as a Yorubaness. And I hope you understand. It's just similar to what Obasanjo says. Obasanjo says, I believe in my Nigerianness than Yorubaness. But what the Obasanjo is not telling us is, why do we first have the Nigerianness? Because the Nigerianness is a fraud that Olakunle Olawunmi is still explaining. So let's go back, because we have 12 minutes into that video, and I'm going to use all the video, but I'm doing a bit of discussion around it, but I won't stay too long, with the discussion inside. Let's go back.
That constitution is a fraud. Now, what you are doing now, you want to start, advancing the interests of those religious groups to actually now confirm that Nigeria is an Islamic state. And let me tell you something that people don't know. This thing was caused by the British.
I know you want to hear that part, but I purposely just pause it. I want you to take a drink, take a water. I don't know whether some of you take alcohol. If you do, don't drive and take alcohol. If you love tea like we do in the British system, if you love your juice, your Coke, everybody has what they take. No matter what, something will kill us one day, but it will be better to fight and die for this freedom than just to die without fighting for it. Some of you have spent so much money that you refuse to spend again because you believe that it's a waste of time. Some of you have even said, I am not going to be involved. That will not take you out of that nation when we become an independent country. But those of us that fight to the end will be forever remembered, even up to those that have died, like Mrs. Janet Fashakin. I was looking at one of her pictures, and as I was removing some of what we've done on the background, because I have to take them down sometimes, and I saw Mrs. Janet Fashaki, and right there I said it will be too early for me to remove a picture. Even if I'm going to do so, I don't think it's right now for me to remove this beautiful soul that fought hard, but eventually she's smiling in the Lord, knowing fully well that she played a role as a Yoruba woman, even as she must have lost a lot of contact and businesses because she was supporting Yoruba Nation. Do you know what that means? That some of us, a lot of people refuse to contact us anymore. They refuse to engage us because what we are doing, that we are saving people's life from what this man is about to mention, what the British created to upturn it. For the same set of people, they are Yorubas, they want to travel, upload pictures and tell you everything is fine in their country where they're traveling to, and they're not going to engage Nigeria. And when they come to Nigeria, they stay in Lagos where they think that it's still a bit protected. They have good time, they return back to their base, and they tell you everything is working. But we are different. We, and I say we, because Janet Fashaki will not want me to sit back and not complete this job. Like I said, death is going to come to every single one of us. We pray for long life. But it's better to die fighting for something you believe in. So if anybody thinks that, oh, but you are living in the UK, I always say to you, living in the UK does not mean I don't have the right to call them out. As I call Kemi Badenoch out tonight, does not mean that she has not done fantastically well for our people, but I don't believe she has anything to offer for Yoruba people. That is my take. It doesn't matter whatever your belief is. Because this is the same woman that told us in the previous video that we should forget about slave trade, that we shouldn't worry about repatriation, that we shouldn't even ask for apology for the millions of Yoruba people that our own generation was also involved. But again, she thinks that it is not of benefit. So when I look at Janet Fashaki, I see her as a woman far much better in her own quest to right to self-determination as against Kemi Badenoch, that believes that our Britishness is what more valuable than our Yorubaness. So let's go back again to the video as we continue to review Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative, who will be coming to the Arewa towards the end of the program. But the focus of the Arewa that are asking for Yoruba Nation, for independent Arewa Nation, are different from the Fulani's agenda that wants to trap every one of us in this contraction that British put together. So we're going to go back now and listen to how former Commodore Olakunle Olawumi is about to mention about the British.
Between 1900 and instead of them to actually discuss the 1999 Constitution, it is a fraud already. That Constitution is a fraud. Now, what you are doing now, you want to start, advancing the interests of those religious groups to actually now confirm that Nigeria is an Islamic state. And let me tell you something that people don't know. This thing was caused by the British. Between 1900 and 1960, they knew that they cannot govern the North except they allowed them to practice their religion, and they were using their religious leader to basically govern them. It is called indirect rule. Immediately after independence, 1960, the British knew that they shouldn't have forged these two people together. They know. But because they want to achieve the divide and rule and to be able to conquer and take our resources and steal whatever they want to steal over the years, they merged these two people together. They could not govern the North and South under one religious or administration. They know. So they now give independence and march you people to work together. That was why the 1960 coup started. That was how the Civil War started. Now, 86, Babangida came with the OIC stuff. trying to Islamize us. It didn't work. In 2000, when 1999-2000, when Obasanjo came, he permitted them to start practicing Sharia. Today now, they want to consolidate it. Once you remove that person, all of us, whether you are Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Jukun, Christian, traditional, you are now under the law, the Islamic law, because they put it in the constitution.
Sorry, I had to take my son to bed. As he came to say goodnight, I decided to take him upstairs. I've watched the video myself, but I'm sure you've picked up quite a lot of how they are preparing for the Islamization of Nigeria. Whether you agree with it or not, there is an agenda to Islamize Nigeria. And our job is to stop it. And how do we stop it? To continue to create that awareness, no matter how small, no matter how big. We must not allow anyone to threaten us, not even the Igbos, not to talk about the Hausas, the Fulanis, not to even talk about the British. We must call every single one of them out because we all have the same reasons, and I'm talking about the Yorubas. Even if the Yoruba disagree with us, we must fight together not to be Islamized. Nobody is fighting Tinubu's government, and nobody hates Tinubu, but we will not allow Tinubu to take us in a direction that will keep us in Nigeria, and that is the reason why we must continue to create that awareness, a preparedness for whatever eventuality that will happen. We pray that nothing that will make life much difficult, because life itself is already difficult for millions of our people right now. And I do not see anything coming out of this government. But Tinubu is stepping on the toes of those that wants to Islamize Nigeria. Does not mean that Tinubu is fully 100% with the Yorubas, but he's stepping on the toes. We know that. Regardless of our take with Tinubu, he's stepping on toes. But what we need to let ourselves to understand is Tinubu is not in support of the Yoruba nation as a country. Whether he has the intention, as some of you will say, is a pure lie. Tinubu agenda is a different agenda. Tinubu wants Tinubu to become the governor. He wants to become powerful, and he wants to make sure that even after his exit, he can still sell us to the north and the Fulanis so that nobody comes after him like they're doing, like he's doing right now in opposition after he has taken power from dead Buhari or alive. So no Yoruba person should think that Tinubu has something to offer us. Tinubu has nothing to offer us, and even if he does, we must not believe it. Even if he does, we must not believe it, because his agenda is always his own selfish interest. Let's go back to the video.
In fact, listening to the member that was representing Ahoda East, Abu Anudua Federal Constituency, River State, I want to get his words. He said personal matters that was envisaged, he says, by the people who drafted this constitution. And I want to quote him. The implication is, if the word personal is removed, Islamic law would have broader implications. The word personal was put there for a reason. Let's talk a bit about this whole conversation about Islamizing the country with our population and our dynamics. You know, is it possible?
Did you hear Weary? Stupid journalists. You see why I tell you that we have madness in that country. She's asking if it's possible, but as she asked how it was possible that they were able to amalgamate us and deceive us, and they're using the same puppet media. Because we know Tony Momod or whoever owns channel is another puppet to the Fulanese because of what is eating from them. You can see a journalist asking in 21st century if it is possible that they will Islamize the whole Nigeria. You can see why you need a strong, dedicated media to work back to back, day and night, 24/7, to take the truth to the people. Mr. Bamidele Aliyu say, animal she is, asking foolish questions. Is it possible? So how was it possible that Buhari, after 8 years, a lot of Nigerians still say he died. Some say he did not die. But what we know that Buhari makes sure that Fulanization agenda went to the topmost. Let's put it back, because no matter how much we hate Nigeria, there will still be some bit of factual, maybe a little bit, that we know that the Nigerian military, from what we were told, were very strong, at least on the ground. They were able to work hard and fight in different wars, from Sierra Leone, Liberia. But the same Nigerian military has become like a banana. The same Nigerian military that we all thought was very strong. But what we didn't realize is they were never strong because the Fulanization agenda was penetrating. The question I'm asking tonight is Lagbaja, the chief of staff, dead? Is Lagbaja dead? Is a question. So you can see that when this Yeye woman, where they call herself journalist, is saying, is it possible that Tinubu will be president? We know that Tinubu will rig himself in, but what Tinubu will not be able to do is to continue to rig himself after 8 years. They will kick his balls. They will squeeze his balls because they did so with Obasanjo, that tried a third and failed third term. So the whole question is, if it is possible, is the reason why millions of Yoruba people are still against the right to self-determination, because some of them are still trying to process. Ṣó possible ṣàkọ Islamite gbogbo wa? Ṣó possible ṣàkọ sọ gbogbo wa dẹlẹ́sìn kan? Ṣó possible pé kí terrorists wọlé wá pa wá? Ṣó possible? Ṣó possible? That possible is becoming possibility. And that can help you, because as a journalist, we always have archive of different things that we can add to give it salt and remove the sugar. Because when this journalist is asking this stupid question, this nonsensical question, I'm sure he must have heard this before. But because they are never straightforward, they are biased in their argument, maybe we should hear this and maybe we can use that to shut our dirty, stinking mouth.
So what do they expect of us now that this war is on our doorstep? Of course, there has got to be civil mobilization. And if we keep waiting for this to be centrally handled, we're all going to become, if we're not already, slaves in our own land. That for me is personally intolerable. It's not an acceptable condition. And whatever it takes, I stand ready to contribute in any way.
So what are you going to contribute? Oyeronke Olaniyan say, can't you see what is happening in Iwo and Ogbomoso town? Is she blind? Omobolaji say, it can never happen. Because this journalist that is asking questions maybe does not know that November 7th, 5 days from today, kings will be gathering to put us back in a fraudulent amalgamation. So how is that not going to be possible? It's only when we continue to raise our voices continuously without stopping. Nigeria continue to be Islamized, and that agenda is what this analyst is taking us through. Let's go back to the video.
That someone can sneak this in at some point and force all of us under some sort of regulation that we do not ascribe to? Is it possible that this can happen in this country?
It is possible, and don't be deceived.
I like that straightforward answer. It is possible, don't be deceived. I wish I should add more to it, but this man just knock it off. It is possible. You see, the deceived, DECEIVE, the illusion that Nigerians wake up with the hope that there is a hope, that there is a hope, that there is a hope until they reach the 6 foot underneath. And we see that on a daily basis. Nigerians expecting hope in an hopelessness country that British created by Lugard. So let's go further and learn more from it is possible and don't be deceived. So tí wọ́n náà tó bá jẹ́ pé lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ẹ̀ ló ń kọ́kọ́ máa gbọ́ mi àbó ti gbọ́ mi tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ó wá ń sọ pé kò lè possible kò lè ṣeé ṣe wọ́n ti sọ pé ó ṣeé ṣe o. We always thought Sambisa was one forest until we realized that they said it's another town of its own. We now realize that Zamfara gold is for Zamfara people only. It is possible.
It's going to happen. Do you know Constantinople? Today's Turkey? They were almost 98% Christian before now. Today,
the man just went straight to record that is not far. Constantinople in Turkey. You think Turkey was an Islamic country before? I'm sure some of you think so. I've been to Turkey many times. I told you the discussion for Turkey is not for today. I still put it in the cooler. It's a place I know very well. Fully Islamic country, but almost kind of westernized, one that is different from Iran. But they are full Islam in Turkey.
It's an Islamic country. I mean, I did Islam in my master's program, and I was trained by Professor Alijani. He's a Persian. He's an Iranian American. And I scored A. That's excellent in Islam. So I know them. It may take them 1,000 years to Islamize Nigeria.
You see that word, even if it's going to take them 1,000 years, they will Islamize Nigeria. Do you know that in 1,000 years, every single one of us on this platform that is typing would have gone. Even some of our generation that will come after us will have gone. Another one would have gone. Why then do we need to wait for the next generation to come? Because we want to give birth. Hey, we want to do, the same house that will become an Islamic house in 1,000 years. I pity a lot of you that build big house in Nigeria, especially in Yoruba land. Imagine that they convert all your houses to mosque, Sharia mosque, and woman cannot pray inside. Woman must pray in their house. I'm sure some of you are doing business now, but you forgot that business after you die, in 1,000 years, there was. Do you know what they're going to do? Do you know that ISIS is different? How many people know the difference between ISIS and Boko Haram? ISIS goes for anything that is more of your cultural belief. They destroy it. If they see anything like if ISIS gets close to Oshogbo area, they will destroy the whole Oshogbo area that you will not recognize it again. That is the difference between ISIS and Boko Haram. We're not taking any requests. For those of you that are sending requests, I will not bring anybody in because the discussion tonight has not permitted us to do so. I'm so sorry. I don't think some of you understand that this agenda have been something that they have been preparing for, and they are not in a rush. Ask America with all their superpower. You know that kind of music where Jesus power, superpower, Jesus power, superpower, mommy water power, paralysis power, mommy water power, paralysis power, but Jesus power, superpower. America thought they were smart. America, even though we know that there's another agenda to the Afghanistan, it's got to do with opium. Google it. America spent billions of dollars fighting evil that they cannot defeat. And the Taliban sat behind and watching and allow America to pump all the money into Afghanistan. And when the time arrives, they came out again and told America, we now give you 48 hours to evacuate even your last penny that you built here. And we know what was the end of that. We saw how America left everything. And like I said, don't be deceived by all the news network, the criminal ones in America, the NBC, the CBC. They are criminals. They are the ones that divert the attention of the real problems of the world. So when people like us that doesn't have the numbers, somebody will come and say, how many people is watching you? Only 4 people. No, I can't stand here. Let me go to where they start 10,000 people watching, so that it can become part of the statistics of the false lies of the biased broadcasting corporation like BBC. Tonight, mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Tí a bá lọ kú ta kúrò láyé yìí, gbogbo wa after 1,000 years, wọ́n ní Fúlàní agenda, ó sì máa wáyé. So let me look at it this way. Let me even say I am 200 years. My son is 200 years. My son's children is 200 years. For the 600. My son's 200 years. For the 800. So that means from my own side, I've just given, nobody's going to spend any 200 years on earth again. Don't be deceived. Okay? You probably spend 150 years. So you now want me, Olayomi Koiki, to let Tinubu, that doesn't have another 40 years on his life, maximum I always give him 60 years, to allow his stupidity of his own selfish gain to destroy a unique, powerful, respected, loved indigenous people called the Yorubas, so that by the time Tinubu die, we will be worried about colonization. Why not let us kill that colonization now? Yoruba people say, no, don't kill it now. Allow it to become more powerful. The more powerful they are, the more it will be difficult for us to fight back. Ó dà pé ìgbọ́n kan tí mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣẹ̀rí ẹ̀ka igi tó bá gé ní bíbà tó bá rò pé ó ti gé ní bíbà tó bá máa rìn díẹ̀ síwájú wá tó máa rí ẹ̀ka míì níbì kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ṣẹ̀rí ẹ̀ka Fúlàní terrorist tó ń spread tá à ń pe Gani Adams tó ń ṣe bíi pé kò gbọ́n kan tá à ń sọ àbí tó ń ṣe bí ìgbà tẹ́ pé wọ́n ò gbọ́ rárá, etí wọn ti kún, wọ́n bínú sí wa. Koiki má sọ̀rọ̀ sí mi, tí wọ́n pé mo lọ́pàá aláṣọ funfun ni mí, ìyẹn kọ́ là ń sọ nísìnyí bàbá. Ẹ gbé aṣọ funfun sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kan, kẹ́ gbé aṣọ ògùn jáde, kẹ́ wọ aṣọ ògùn ká tẹ̀lé yín lẹ́yìn, ká wọnú igbó, ká lọ flush wọn jáde. Ṣé rí gbogbo èyí tẹ́ ṣe ń ṣe tẹ́ ń jọ̀pá káàkiri, tẹ́ ń ṣe ìyẹn kọ́ ló wà lẹ́ o. Tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá careful orí gbogbo wa àtẹ̀mí àtẹ̀yìn wàá bẹ sóògùn ni o. Bọ́ àti jẹ́ kó bẹ sóògùn la ṣe ń pè yín ṣàkíyèsí ilé ìṣe pàǹpù yín o. Torí mo mọ̀ pé láwọn èèyàn ní ìsìtàn ń gbọ́ ba ní sẹ́yìn Koiki oyè ṣe lẹ́nu yọ̀bọ̀rọ̀ ṣé Badoo ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Torí pé mo ò búyàn látàárọ̀ ni mo sọ fún ìyàwó mi pé kò ní sí ègún nínú program tálẹ̀ yìí. Mo kàn ń pe ibà sí ẹ̀wọ́n tẹ̀ ní káyé máa lo ibà pé bìkan kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ ibà ẹ̀kì ká tẹ̀ pọ́n yín lé. Di lóògùn ọ̀fẹ́ o, lóògùn ọ̀fẹ́ o. Oh my God. Wọ́n náà èèyàn fi pààyàn, wọ́n fi islamize wa, lóògùn ọ̀fẹ́ wà ń bẹ̀ ní sí wà ní Ìkẹjà, wọ́n sùn wọ́n jí. Wọ́n sùn wọ́n jí. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní àwọn event tó fi lọ. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ kúkú ṣe ẹ̀yìn àti Tinubu agree. So èmi ò mọ reason tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù. Àbẹ́yìn náà ń bẹ̀rù kú ni. Bó ti sọ pé ìjà ọmọ Yorùbá ò ṣe é gbèjà. So you can see the danger that we found ourselves. You can see the trap that the stupid journalist is asking a question whether it is possible to Islamize the whole 200 million people. But in our lifetime, you drink alcohol in the north, they go flog you. You sell alcohol, they go destroy am. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́? Ó mà ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lójú ayé wa. Ó dà ń pẹ́ ìgbọ́n tí mo sọ. Àìsí pé 1000 years ní north o kò lè ní kíyàwó ẹ kó kọ̀ wọ bra kó dẹ̀ wọ ṣòkòtò kó wá ó máa mọ sisi lovely girls yẹn bó ṣe máa ń múra lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ó mà lè múra bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ṣòkòtò. Iran lẹ́ànà ó ti dànà nísìn wọn náà ọmọbìnrin kan ní yunifásitì èmi rí picture yẹn pátá àti bra ṣì wà nídìí ẹ̀ bí ṣe gbọ́ wọn náà ti yanjú ẹ̀ dànù ní o. Oyè ẹ̀ tí mo mí ìbàdàn wọn náà ti yanjú ẹ̀ dànù wọn ló bọ́ra ó bọ́ṣọ pátá àti bra ṣì wà nídìí ẹ̀. So what I'm trying to say to us is that if a Yoruba person think that this one na Igboho's fight unicorn mi pẹ̀lú Koiki àti Igboho jẹ́ kí èmi máa ṣayé mi lọ. Ó wá ń kọ́lé sí Nàìjíríà ilé tó máa islamize létà lọ́jọ́ iwájú òun ló ń kọ́ yẹn. Ilé tó ń kọ́ àwọn tí bá sọ pé ilé kò dìgbà tó bá kọ́ 2-bedroom flat whatever you are building in Nigeria you are just preparing for another Fulanization to take over in another 1000 years. By that time you will be gone. I will be gone. So why not let us defend it now? Support Igboho, support Baba Akintoye so that we can push and stop this agenda. Let's go back to the video.
So they will take it slowly, gradually. They don't forget. All of us will be dead after some time.
It looks like this man, they copy me. When you are in the class, and be careful when you copy somebody. Because somebody like me, I like to copy when I was in school. You go to copy somebody. And the person will now tell you after the exam, you have all come outside, and you say, mo kàn dọ́ọ̀bù ni o bàbá dọ́ọ̀bù mi ní kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ èmi ò mọ kọ́kàn mo kàn kan tó wù mí ni ó ti máa late. Is that not the same thing I just said now? These people have the time, but Yoruba people, we want to enjoy life. You know, let Dele Momodu take our picture when we go to a hotel. I don't know how our king has become MC. A king that should sit in the palace. If they don't have a job to do in the palace, we can create job for them. But no, the king wants to leave their palace and go to a hotel and become an MC. Ìgbàlódé.
Our children that don't care, or this Jersey will come, they will still Islamize this country. If they can do it in Turkey, today's Turkey, what stops you? Why do you think they won't do it here? Except we take steps now.
You see, the difference between me and these Egmont is that they are still not coming out fully to say, look, the Yoruba country is the best option. They are still thinking that we can do something to stop it in Nigeria. How can you stop an agenda of Islamization in Nigeria? Is it possible? It's not possible. You can't. There is no way you can do so. And that is the reason why Moki intervalorate to Makina that for many times. We are 2 hours exactly to the program, and I think we should slow it down after this so that it doesn't go 3 hours. So let me push quickly. We have 9 minutes. I'm going to push this video quickly.
Because we are the ones that are talking about these things. Our next generation in 50 years will not even care. You understand? So I'm thinking that if some part of the country, I don't want to be specific, if they feel strongly about an ideology, a religious, but I think they can restrict it to their area. And I think maybe Tinubu should do well by developing this issue of regional autonomy where everybody should organize themselves, or at worst, let the country actually go apart, and you can do whatever you want in your area. I've come to that conclusion that I don't think we can stay together because of this very strong belief about religion.
And it was fact. Apart, he doesn't think we can stay together. And that I will leave on that note. I'm going to come out of that and I'm going to come back here. I say, because it's already 12 and I know I should have started this early, but I was engaged in a meeting that was very important, even though I was fully set up. But the meeting was important. I had to take the meeting and it lasted a bit longer. And I don't know if I keep people too much awake so that we can all go to bed. We will pick on this maybe tomorrow, God's willing. I don't know what time, but for now, I think we should wind it down tonight. Let me just quickly appreciate every one of you that have joined. You will notice that they are putting my donation portal there for you. In case this is the way you can also see it on a full screen where you can support this platform. When we say support, we're not getting that support. I got to be honest with us, but it's fine. It will not stop me from doing what I love to do, but every contribution is helping us. Like I said, we will have within the next couple of days, 2 of more of my staff will be also producing videos. Their videos will only come on a Facebook platform. Then after that, I will be transferring them into the YouTube channel because we don't have the device like I do. I mean, I have 2 laptops here. I have 5 or 6 mobile phones, and the data in Nigeria is expensive. I would love them to go live on the YouTube, go live on the Facebook, but that will be costing me X amount of money. Today, we have spent again another 150,000 naira. It's not a lot of money, but in Nigerian context, it is. I've spent another 150,000 buying a brand new phone for another staff. I'm telling you this so that it's also on record, that I'm doing my own little bit. BBC also upgrade their staff all the time, and we're doing the same thing. So like I said, they're working on how they will do the program. It will be fixed. Unlike mine is not fixed. I can't tell you I'm out today at a particular time, but with theirs, we want it to be fixed where you can listen to them at a particular time for 30 minutes and then maybe another couple of days, so we're working on that. I can't take in any more person to come and work with me because the ones I'm working with now, they understand. We are or guys send the data to me. Only the KG, Masha send it. So I'm sure you know what I mean by that. So I'm going to leave it like that. Thank you so much. That's the program. If you don't have anything to give me, pray for good strength for myself and my family, and also for Jesus to protect us, for our Nabi to protect us, and our tradition to protect us from the evil forces of those that think that whatever we are saying, they can use that against us. Thank you to those of you that continue to use my videos. I know I can see them. Some of you have always said it 4 years ago. I have no issue anybody using my videos. My platform is an open source. So I want you to continue to use my video, because the more you're using my video, the more I become very popular, even though you're not giving me money on it. But that's fine. As long as, you continue to use the video, and also it's kind of an awareness, because your platform is also a different platform from mine. So I appreciate it, and I will never stop you from using my video. From my sisters to my mom to my aunties and all contributors on the platform, if I start mentioning names, we'll take another 3 hours, and it's already 8 minutes past 2. So let me just say, Yawa Comfort says, our kings are comedians with their fancy hat or crowns going to party everywhere. May God deliver Yoruba land out of Nigeria. Yabo Olubumi say that Kemi Badenoch, she's a traitor. Just image another traitor. Again, Oluyemi Adams said, we shall get there, Yoruba nation. Debo Awe, Babawa said, God bless Yoruba nation and all the well-wishers as well. Olawale Ramon says, God bless Yoruba nation, no going back. A lot of comment has come through also on the YouTube. I can't read all the comment. I'm sure you know that. I've seen my brother, Shalom, Akin Elegbede, up Yoruba nation. And I think, well, I should be showing you as Igbo was entering, because some might even think that is a photo shot when we went to 10 Downing Street. But luckily, as a journalist, I was inside ahead waiting for them. And as Igbo was coming, you know what I did? I did this. Slowly. So that's exactly what I did. Igbo was coming into with his beautiful art being adjusted, and the video was captured. I'm sure some of you have seen the video before, while some of you have not seen it before. So that is, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho entering into number 10 Downing Street on the 12th of October. Let me take the audio out so that it doesn't disturb us. I think I've done that. So continue to watch that. So let me appreciate Dizima123. We love you. Let me appreciate all my team. Ola Lekon Opay, Yawa Dupa Gbola, Ashanti Shele Yoruba Media, Akeno Michael, thank you so much. Prince Adebayo Shitu, Prophet Amore Joe, thank you so much. I can't love you less, my sister Arewa. You got my backing all the time, like I always say. If anybody intimidates you on the X, let me know. I will pull them out. The Igbos cannot intimidate us. If they're not happy with Yoruba land, they have every right to return back and go and stay in their own, southeast. You stay in Yoruba land, you respect us. Just as we go to your side, we will also respect you. Let me quickly appreciate my beautiful mother. Hope to see you tomorrow. It's a Sunday. Tony T, thank you so much. Yabo Lawal, Yoruba nation is what we want. Aziz Badeshere flew from Florida to come to London to say he loves Igbo so much. Abraham Lawal, thank you so much. Kate Girl says, God day your side. I pray so. Yemi Fatoki, and also Kabil, Titilola Shaw, Fagbemi Leke, Tony Adegun, Tony Aegis, Pastor Mo. All Star says, can we leave the lonely land of no opportunity to dry land of opportunity? I say thank you so much. Who else is there? Shalom. Who is the father of Kemi? If it is not a Yoruba man, then she is not a Yoruba woman. Well, that's another fact there. You also say, Yoruba, you are the target raised by the British government, but they have to use Kemi to pacify your mind and destroy the Yoruba to submission. Bridget Awoni Mokimomimi, Sarah, and thanks so much. We were in the meeting together earlier. Sarah Jai, thank you so much. From Canada to Europe to every continent. Elizabeth Adesonya, shout out to African Confidential. If I didn't mention your name, don't take it too personal. Yawa Joke Boduri, shout out to you, ma. Shout out to even the silent listeners. Timila De Oriade, thank you so much. Please support us, because we also have a lot of burden of support that we're giving out to different individuals. I got a call from a Yoruba Nigerian that just came to UK last year. Please, I want to share and if you can't give them anything, let us just pray for them and advise them in a way. They're going through a lot. This is a young man that arrived in the UK with his children. I won't give you the numbers of the children. with the wife. Presently, they are still trying to get themselves in properly. It's not easy in the UK, especially if you have to pay for home office application. If you have many children, you have to start multiplying, the health charge self-pay with about £700. You have to multiply that by the numbers of the children. Then you have to now pay for the application fee as well. That does not mean I discourage you from coming to UK. If you have the means to be in the UK, please, japa, lesekese, and come to the UK. But when you arrive in the UK, prepare that 40 hours plus extra will not survive you. You will have to think about that, especially if you're bringing your family and you're going to be applying for the home office application. I know how much it cost me in 15 years trying to rectify my status in this country. So, but that does not mean I discourage you from coming to the UK. So I pray for everyone that have arrived in the UK. You're going through one stress of this country or the other. This is what our parents have gone through, and many people for the last 30 years, 40 years. Shout out to the Yoruba World Media, independent media. And on that note, I would say, Oran Yolama Sun, Kolonko Jiwasaye, Yoruba, Ama Bonin Wahala, Ati Damuti, Awon Iran Alawo Funfun Toko Wasi. And we hope that one day, that is not too far away, we can celebrate our true independence out of the contraction that the British created. Olayomi Koiki, Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Sorry, I can't bring any calls or any requests. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow you join me. I will do so. Muki, I'm Biafra. Akide Muki. Ahita Walori Mixel out. Please let us continue to share the Mixel out. It's not cheaper to listen from it. If you have the link, follow the link and follow it. Muki Ahita Walori Alale. Omobolaji Muriembe. Bubo Yiyawa. Thank you so much. Good night from this side. I'm going to play the anthem now, and that will close the broadcast. Good night from wherever you are watching me or listening. It is your own, Olayomi Koiki, popularly called Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Gbogbo àwọn òkú òun tí Buhari ti pa àti tí Tinubu ń pa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ kó ṣèdájọ́ fún gbogbo àwọn ìkà, àwọn ìjẹ̀lú tó kó wa sínú wàhálà àti ìdààmú tí a wà nínú ẹ̀. Ó dàárọ̀. Ìyàwó Eunice Adeleye Mokinyo, Moki Alaji, Moki Alaja, Bamidele Ambiru. Good night. God bless Yoruba people. God bless the Biafra. God bless Arewa. God bless Scottish. God bless every freedom fighter that are fighting to save their people from the bondage, especially of the British madness. Good night.
Ipò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ̀.
Shout out to you, my brother, Shegun Honorable Odaro. Good night. Ola Akiyemi Odaro.